Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Oh, I like it. You can use a spray
It's
paint.
the symbol of the all-mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? Like, for years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, and they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things. And, you know, and you know, look at him trying to.
Nobody really expected this conversation to go mainstream. For years, it lived in the shadows of the internet, whispers in comment sections, late-night videos, and people asking questions they were almost afraid to say out loud. But then something changed. Clips started circulating again. Old interviews were pulled back into the spotlight, and suddenly, a topic most people laughed at was being discussed with a serious tone. It all began when commentary videos tied to Candace Owens started resurfacing, where she examined Hollywood's strange patterns of behavior, fame, and control. Not direct accusations, not clear statements, but questions. And sometimes questions are more powerful than answers.
Huge conspiracy theory about beloved Hollywood actor Jim Carrey right now because people are saying he's acting and looking very different. Did the Illuminati finally get their loudest whistleblower and clone him, thus silencing him? This is like two conspiracy theories in one, so here's everything you need to know.
I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower.
So yesterday, 64-year-old Jim Carrey received a Caesar Award in Paris, which is like a French Oscar. And he was just suspiciously acting out of character for the iconic Jim Carrey personality. And longtime fans also noticed he looked younger or very different. And for a lot of actors in Hollywood, that's the norm. He's 64. I support people getting work done. But a lot of conspiracy theorists who are really just diehard fans say normally Jim Carrey would never do this. His whole brand is drastically changing his facial expressions and melding his face into whatever he needs to do for his role. It's just the last person you would ever expect to do that. But what's really freaking people out and driving home the conspiracy theory is that his eyes are a completely different color now. They are green, but they used to be very obviously brown. Is it him? Is someone new under the mask? And Jim Carrey is infamous for his whole career long time giving very powerful speeches against government corruption, against capitalism, against those in.
Because once she started laying things out, people began to notice something uncomfortable. The patterns didn't feel random anymore. What if the people we see on screen are not always the same people who started there? That's where the conversation really began. But nobody jumps to that conclusion overnight. To understand why this idea even exists, you have to go back years, back to Hollywood's golden image, the polished red carpets, the perfect interviews, the carefully controlled public appearances. Everything designed to look effortless, every smile timed, every word approved. And at the center of it all, celebrities like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey wasn't just an actor, he was an era, a personality that felt larger than life, from explosive comedy performances to emotional depth that surprised audiences.
She had not been seen in 4 days at that point. The last person she'd spoken to, it's believed, is Jim Carrey.
He was someone people felt they knew, even if they had never met him. But over time, fans started noticing something strange, not just with him, but with several public figures. The energy shifted, the interviews changed, the tone felt different, and most importantly, people said they could feel it.
texted her the night before saying that he was actually missing a bunch of pills from his medicine cabinet, asking if she had them, but there was no response.
Now, of course, in the beginning, that kind of talk was dismissed. Fans were told it was aging, stress, career evolution, personal growth, and in many cases, that explanation made sense. But what happens when the same change seems to appear across multiple celebrities in similar ways at different times? That's where curiosity turns into questions.
She had obtained 3 bottles of pills from someone under an alias. It's believed it was possibly Jim Carrey.
And that's exactly what commentary discussions tied to Candace Owens began highlighting. Not saying anything was proven, but pointing out how often the public notices changes in celebrities that are later brushed off without deeper discussion. But here's where the story gets even more complicated. Because the internet doesn't stay quiet anymore. Old interviews started resurfacing. Side-by-side comparisons began circulating. Fans pointed out differences in speech patterns, body language, and even personality shifts between older and newer appearances of certain public figures. Some people said it was ridiculous. Others said it felt like something was off, even if they couldn't explain it. And that's how the conversation about Hollywood control started gaining momentum again. The idea wasn't new. It's been around in different forms for decades. But what changed this time was technology, digital editing, AI, deepfake systems, synthetic media. Suddenly, the line between real and artificial wasn't as clear as it used to be. And that's where speculation began to grow.
Called Jim Carrey first when they found her body after finding her cell phone before they even called her family. So he obviously was incredibly torn up about this, but he really was there in the aftermath.
Because if images and voices can be recreated, what about presence? What about identity? What about a person's likeness being replicated so closely that the difference becomes impossible for the public to detect? That question alone was enough to spark endless debate. In commentary videos tied to Candace Owens' broader discussions on media control and elite influence, the focus wasn't on proving anything outrageous. It was about patterns, about influence, about how tightly controlled the entertainment industry actually is. She often emphasized something simple. When industries hold massive influence over culture, money, and global attention, questions about control naturally follow. And that idea is what pulled viewers deeper into the conversation.
Preach, you need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
You got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons,
in
boy,
icons?
that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry? You're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut it down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No, I didn't
that an
get dressed
accident?
up. I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream.
Found out that my trainer was a MK Ultra Canadian intelligence.
He worked in the defense research and development in the Canadian military, essentially working on psyops
Who's this
in the
guy?
Canadian military. This is Harley Pasternak.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, look, they tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me, and they when I asked them how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears too. I mean, look at
they would have Michael Jackson
or worse, yeah.
So look at
Because Hollywood isn't just movies. It's branding, it's image management, it's billions of dollars built on public trust and emotional connection. And when that level of control exists, even small inconsistencies start to feel bigger than they should. That's where the cloning narrative started appearing, not as a confirmed claim, but as an extreme explanation people used to describe what they felt when they saw drastic changes in familiar faces. Jim Carrey's name kept coming up in these discussions not because of anything proven, but because of how dramatically public perception of him has shifted over the years. Some people see him as evolving, becoming more philosophical, more distant from mainstream Hollywood energy. Others say they feel like they're watching someone completely different from the person they remember. And that contrast, whether real or perceived, is what fuels the debate. But here's the twist. Most of these conversations don't start with accusations. They start with observation. A clip from years ago compared to a recent interview. A change in tone that feels subtle but noticeable. A moment where someone says, "That doesn't sound like them anymore." And once that thought enters the mind, it becomes hard to unsee. Candace Owens style commentary segments often highlight how quickly mainstream narratives dismiss uncomfortable questions. According to that line of thinking, when people raise concerns about inconsistencies in media or celebrity behavior, they're often labeled as irrational instead of being engaged in discussion, and that reaction itself becomes part of the conversation. Because if something is truly unimportant, why does questioning it create such strong pushback? That's one of the arguments people bring up in these discussions. Another major point revolves around disappearance and return cycles. Fans have noticed that some celebrities step away from the spotlight for periods of time, then return with noticeable shifts in appearance, demeanor, or energy, sometimes subtle, sometimes dramatic. And while there are many normal explanations, personal life, health, career breaks, online discussions often magnify these changes and connect them into larger theories.
Was World Autism Awareness Day. You both must be encouraged by all that's happened in this subject since you literally started it.
Yeah, we've come a long way within the community. When I first had Evan diagnosed with autism, there wasn't much of anything. I had to find out about biomedical treatment on the internet after I typed in autism on Google. And out 3 years later now, there's 3 books and many thousands of children getting better because of biomedical treatment.
Jenny brought so much focus to this problem. And kind of that's why I'm here, is I want to bring as much focus as we can to this problem.
You married autism. Or, well, you're not married, so you live with autism.
When I invited Jenny into my life, I invited Evan into my life. And when I first met Evan, it was like he was on another planet. I wasn't in the room. There was no eye contact. There was no response to dialogue. There was no affection. And over time, I witnessed Jenny pull Evan through the window of unconsciousness and isolation into our world, where he is now a fully functioning person who can communicate, who can connect, and this is through biomedical treatments, GFCF diet, and the therapies that she's talking about. So I believe that autism, in my heart, is preventable
and treatable.
Fully functional.
He's completely recovered, Larry, completely recovered. And he's not the only one. There are thousands in this community that are getting better.
Why did you go so publicly? I mean, you had an autistic child. He got better. So why are you here?
I could have, hid and not said anything, and Evan would have blended into society. I made a pact with God, though. The day Evan became diagnosed with autism, I said, if you show me the way, God, and show me how to heal my boy, I will continue to teach the world how I did it. And within 1 year of that kind of conversation with God, Evan was undiagnosed from autism.
But it's still shocking to see how many people are ignoring this information.
The American Academy of Pediatrics, I begged and have sat down with and said, why are you not sitting down with our doctors and our scientists who are treating and recovering children with autism, and they refuse to this day to
think
sit
if there was
down.
any possibility that a child was being helped, that someone would listen, someone would take a look. And the fact is, they're not even considering the information. They're not only not considering, they're just
don't exist. So they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character, right, because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
Technology adds another layer to this. With modern advancements in digital editing, voice replication, and AI-generated imagery, people are now aware that seeing something is no longer the same as proving authenticity. That awareness alone has changed how audiences interpret media. Even casual viewers now pause and ask questions they never used to consider. Is this interview edited? Is this footage altered? Is this really live? That shift in perception has created fertile ground for theories, some grounded in real concerns about media manipulation, others stretching far into speculation. And in the middle of it all, celebrity identity becomes a symbol of something bigger, not just fame, but trust. Because when someone becomes globally recognized, they stop being just a person. They become a reference point in culture, and any perceived change feels like a disruption in something familiar. That emotional connection is what makes these discussions so powerful. But it's also what makes them so controversial, because the line between questioning and assumption can disappear very quickly. And that's why most serious commentary, including discussions linked to Candace Owens' style of analysis, stays careful. It focuses on patterns, not proof, on observation, not confirmation. Still, the internet doesn't always stay in that careful space. Once a theory enters public imagination, it evolves, it grows, it shifts into new versions depending on who is sharing it and how it is being interpreted. Some people see it as symbolic, others see it as literal, most just see it as unsettling. But the emotional core remains the same, a sense that something about fame feels controlled, managed, curated beyond what the public is allowed to see. And that idea lingers even after the videos end. Because whether someone believes in extreme theories or not, one thing is undeniable. People have become more aware of how carefully constructed public images really are. And once you start noticing that level of control in media, it becomes harder to look at celebrity culture the same way again. That's where the conversation leaves people, not with answers, but with discomfort. And maybe that's the point, because the real question isn't whether every theory is true or false, it's why so many people feel the need to look deeper in the first place. Why do so many viewers say something feels different, even when they can't explain why? And in a world where image, technology, and influence are more powerful than ever, that question doesn't disappear easily. It just keeps coming back. And maybe that's why this topic never really dies online. Because every time a new interview drops, every time an old clip resurfaces, every time someone notices a change, the conversation starts all over again. And people find themselves asking the same thing over and over. How well do we really know the faces we see on screen? And what happens when the image is all we ever get to see? And maybe that's where everything really comes together. Because after all the theories, all the clips, and all the debates, one thing remains unchanged: the feeling that something about modern fame is not as simple as it looks on the surface. Whether people believe in extreme ideas or not, the curiosity itself is real, the questions are real, and the emotions behind those questions are even more real. We live in a time where everything is visible, yet somehow nothing feels fully clear. We see celebrities more than ever before through interviews, social media, podcasts, and endless content. But at the same time, the more we see, the more people start to question what they are actually seeing. And that is why conversations like this continue to grow. Not because everyone agrees, but because people are thinking. Some viewers will watch this and say it's just speculation, just internet imagination running wild. Others will feel that familiar discomfort, that quiet moment where something doesn't fully add up, even if they can't explain why. And maybe the truth sits somewhere in between, because at the end of the day, fame has always been a strange mirror. It reflects what the world wants to see, not always what is actually there behind the scenes. And when millions of people are emotionally connected to public figures, even the smallest shift in that image can feel massive. And whether we are talking about Jim Carrey or any other major celebrity, the deeper question is not about one person alone. It's about how modern media shapes identity, how carefully public images are managed, and how easily perception can change depending on what is shown and what is not. But here's the most important part. No matter what you believe, the power is still in awareness, to watch carefully, to question responsibly, and to think critically instead of accepting everything at face value or rejecting everything without thought. Because the moment we stop asking questions completely, we stop noticing the patterns that shape the world around us, and that is something worth remembering. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think these changes people talk about are just natural evolution in fame, aging, and career pressure? Or do you believe there's something deeper going on behind the scenes that most people never get to see? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Every perspective matters in a conversation like this, because the truth is, no single voice has the full picture. If you found this video interesting, thought-provoking, or even just a little unsettling, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps push content like this further so more people can join the discussion and share their opinions. And if you enjoy deep dives into Hollywood stories, celebrity mysteries, and the hidden side of fame, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notifications so you never miss a new upload, because what we cover here often opens doors to even bigger conversations. Thank you for watching until the end. And remember, sometimes the most important thing isn't finding the answer right away. It's being willing to keep asking the question.